This is the silver birch tree, or the white European birch tree, or the paper birch tree, depending on what part of the world you're in. But you probably already know that because it's one of the most recognisable trees in the world. But that doesn't mean that it's not special. In fact, it's incredibly special. And if you stick around, I'll tell you why it's so special. Welcome back, friends. Welcome back to the homestead. Obviously, we're outdoors, and you can probably tell by my dress that it's still pretty cold here. It's the first week of March, unbelievably, and we've still got snow on the ground. I wanted to really explore the silver birch tree in this video because through the 3 or so years I've been living here, I've discovered it's quite an incredible tree. Silver birch is what we call a pioneer species. It's probably one of the first trees that would have been around here, and certainly in the northern hemisphere. It really favours these conditions. It doesn't like hot, dry weather and soil. So it's quite happy in wet soil. It's quite happy in cold climates like ours. And like I say, it's a pioneering species. So when the ice age would have receded, probably the silver birch tree was the first tree that grew. And we can see evidence in other places on the homestead as to why it's so good at pioneering, which I'll show you in a minute. It has many, many uses and many unique qualities about it. Obviously, we use it here as a source of firewood. It's considered a medium. It's not softwood, it's not hardwood, it's somewhere in between, which gives it unique properties. Particularly, it gives a good burn, but not too strong, like the oak. But because it's on the lighter side of the hardwoods, it dries quicker. The skin is used for many different things. And again, I'll show you a few things later on in the video. The silver birch tree is very special to many indigenous peoples around the world, particularly in South Canada and around that region. And also in folklore, in Celtic spirituality and things like that. It's considered to be the clean tree, and in these sort of times, as the seasons change from winter to spring, people will make brooms out of the sticks and then sweep the house out to have a clean start for the new year. The tree reproduces by shedding seeds in the form of catkins, and we can see the effects of that on a plot of land that we own just not too far from our house. During the Russian occupation times, it was used as a growing field, probably for potatoes, and in fact only until last year it was still registered as an agricultural piece of land, and we decided that we would turn it back into forest because the silver birch tree had been so thorough, I think it's fair to say, in colonising this piece of land. That felt the best thing and the right thing to do. So you can see the effectiveness of its pioneering by all these silver birches. Because of its pioneering qualities, it's able to take quite acidic soil, take root, and turn that acidic soil into something that can sustain other life. And in fact, the birch tree has unique mushrooms which grow on it, fungi, and again we'll look at those in a bit. And also it can give life to fungi on the ground, and in fact the birch tree and 2 or 3 others are good at attracting the chanterelle mushroom, or the guyanus as it's called here, and also the penny bap mushroom, which is a becca here in Latvia. And also there are mushrooms, fungi, which grow almost uniquely on the birch tree itself, which all have different uses. And we have the tinder mushroom, which actually is not a mushroom at all, as I will show you. And also the birch polypore and the horseshoe fungus, which are great for firelighting. And then soon, I would say probably in the next couple of weeks, what will happen is the birch tree will start pumping up water from the ground, and then we can tap that a bit like the maple tree, and it will give us this slightly sweet juice, not as sweet as the maple syrup, but incredibly healthy. The birch tree has some unique compounds which aren't found in other trees, and in fact there's still a lot of research going on into how those medicinal elements of the birch tree can be used, but already there are compounds that are used in pharmaceuticals and I think the beauty industry as well. Obviously the birch tree gets its name of the paper tree from its unique skin which foliates, and I think the UK silver birch gets its name from the old skin which is more silvery, and then underneath you get a much whiter skin, and that's where the European white birch gets its name from. Skin has a unique quality in that it's got an oil in it, and that means firstly it's waterproof, and you've probably seen indigenous peoples making canoes and kayaks from the skin of birches, and also the oil is very volatile as well, which means it's good for starting fires. So we've got our birch bark. I've just brought it inside the greenhouse, just a little bit out of the wind, but I'll try and demonstrate how volatile it is. See if I can get a fire going. These papery bits are the best bit, the old skin from the outside. But and even though this is damp, fresh off the tree, it's still got that volatility to it. So it's a good bit of bushcraft. Let's see if we can get a fire going with the striker. You can see how quickly that goes up. Let's go and look at a good example of the Chaga mushroom, which isn't actually a mushroom. It's a canker, and I'm walking down to these two big old birch trees down here by the lakeside. A couple of incredible examples of still birch tree. It's a little bit difficult to say how old they are, but I would say they're certainly older than the average age of a birch tree. It's a little bit difficult up here in the colder climates because two examples of the same tree can grow at different speeds. But certainly I know from photos these are over 100 years old. So on this birch tree is two really good examples of chaga growing. One here and then one further up there. They look really old examples. And then down here on the floor is a really great example of a piece of chaga. We can see this is a windfall, a rotten branch which has fallen from the main tree, and there's a nice canker on the end there. And if we look closely, we can see the colours demonstrated really nicely. So on the outside, it almost looks like it's been burnt, and then we can see this kind of copper colour further down. Very distinctive colours of the chaga canker. Now, as for the qualities of chaga, contains most amino acids, vanillic acid, minerals such as calcium, zinc, potassium, magnesium, copper, manganese. Contains melanin, polyphenols, antioxidants, betulinic acid, and there's ongoing research as to the uses of that. Many people say that there are many medicinal uses. That's not my area of expertise, and there's still a lot of research needed into that. But nevertheless, the chaga mushroom, or canker, to call it correctly, can be harvested and then can be ground down to make a rather tasty tea containing all the things that I've just mentioned. As I've said in other videos, do your own research about the medicinal uses, but nevertheless it makes a nice tea, like I just said. It's now 3 or 4 weeks on. It's the first week of April, and you can see we've still got snow on the ground, albeit fresh snow. We've had a bit of a thaw, and we've got new snow. The thaw means that the ground has thawed a bit, and it's enough for the birch tree to start drawing up the water from the ground in order to start forming buds and leaves. And so it's the right time to tap the birch tree to get the juice out. And that's what we're going to do just to finish the video. You'll just see me do that, and hopefully we'll see some juice flow. So you can see how the juice has started coming out. That's good. So we'll put a tap in. There's the tap in the birch tree. Drip, drip, drip. All looking good. Look forward to drinking some of that soon. So there we are. There's a little overview of the wonderful birch tree. And I hope that you've enjoyed the video, and I hope that you've learned something really, and you can give more respect to the birch tree. So if you enjoyed the video, give us a thumbs up, appreciate that, and subscribe if you're not subscribed. We've got lots more videos coming up, more on the birch tree, and yeah, good to have you along for the journey, and I'll see you soon.